It is Uncle Glen's Political Peanut Gallery. You are here. And what kept you? We are here to complain about Obamacare. Yes. That evil Obamacare, which is going to destroy us all. I've read about it. I've had my first experience with it, too. This guy goes to the doctor. He says, "Doctor, I can't pee." He says, "Well, how old are you?" He says, "I'm 87. He says, "You peed enough." Thank you. Obamacare humor. All right, that's really good. And we're going to teach you some Spanish today, too. Here's a Spanish lesson. Español es easy. And today's lesson is, your money is on the dresser. Your money is on the dresser. Su dinero está en el aparador. Su dinero está en el aparador. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Sue.
Glen,
yes.
Glen, would you introduce the guest?
Oh,
please?
God, I forgot.
Let's go to the peanut gallery, please.
Which one? Oh, I forgot about them. Wait a minute. I got it. I don't have it. I got it? I don't have it. Oh, God, I don't know. It's, I have it. Our guest is, I got it all going on, don't I? Thank you. Our guest is Lalo Alcaraz. Come on. Raconteur, man about Fresno, and he's a guy who can draw cartoons and get them in the newspaper, and political cartoonist, and he's hanging in the Wall of Justice. He's got his artwork displayed in the chambers of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, folks. El Burrito Supremo. Yeah. And we're going to have the theme song. Uncle Glen's Peanut Gallery is going to join in and make it sound like this. It's Uncle Glen again. It's Uncle Glen again. We couldn't get away 'cause Charter made us stay. All of the doors are locked. They have the access blocked. We have nowhere to go. Let's watch the show. Yay! Come on, yay! And now that you've all been gathered here under the umbrella of bad taste, wait a minute.
They end up taking up a hospital bed. It costs you gave them treatment early, and they got some treatment and a breathalyzer or an inhalator, not a breathalyzer. But you know what? It would cost about the same as what we would spend over the course of 10 years. It would cost what it would cost us. All right. Okay. We're going to. It would cost us about the same as it would cost for about. Hold on one second. I can't hear myself. I'm glad you're fired up, though.
That's great.
I'm glad.
I'm glad.
Yeah, that was a great clip.
That sounds just like Uncle Glen trying to get his show into first gear. Yeah, but you know what? That inspires me. Turn that up. Turn it up. Wait a minute. I'll work for Washington for $1 a year, but I gotta get paid in advance. You guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? What? Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait a minute. Hello? 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 You know, it's pretty bad when your tinnitus sounds just like your ringtone. Oh! Down. Getting. I'm going to drink some coffee while you take a big boatload full of No One Cares, the pill for chronic complainers. And Ron, you can fix up those dead spots. I know you can do it. And just to defy you, how does it work out?
Maybe just fast forward to my interview.
I knew it.
There was a little hiccup yesterday at the White House after President Obama's home teleprompter reportedly malfunctioned during a family dinner. Onion News Network Washington correspondent Jane Carmichael joins us now with more. Jane, tell us what exactly happened over there.
Well, Anna, last night in the middle of a conversation with Malia about raising her allowance, President Obama's home teleprompter suddenly went blank. He sort of froze mid-sentence, but after a few seconds of silence, Obama was able to call up his prepared remarks from memory.
So it didn't differ at all, basically, from the copy of the dinner conversation that had been sent over to reporters beforehand?
Right, that's right. It was almost verbatim.
Wow.
He hit all the points about Malia needing to get at least a B in math and trying to get onto the soccer team, just in a different order than they were written.
Well, White House Deputy Press Secretary Brenda England briefly addressed this error today. Let's take a look.
Look, the president has hundreds of conversations every day, and it simply isn't feasible for him to memorize the text for every single one.
So I don't really know why you expect to hold me to a higher standard than El Presidente. You know, I can't remember anything either. But I got Lalo here to bail me out. We're going to get to your interview real quick. I'm telling you. So long, Mom. I'm off to drop the bomb. So don't wait up for me. But while you swelter down there in your shelter, you can see me on your TV. While we're attacking frontally, watch Brinkley and Huntley describing contrapuntally the cities we have lost. No need for you to miss a minute of the agonizing Holocaust. All righty. Ron, can we just start the interview now? Do we have to go through this piteous charade? All right, we're going to go to a break. We're gonna go to a break. And when we come back, Lalo's going to make this show interesting in a way that it never has been before.
Except for my previous appearance.
Except for a previous break. There you go. Come on, just do it!
Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington. We don't want John, or Dean, or Harry, let's do that big job right. Let's get in step with the guy that's hep, get in step with Ike. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington. We got to get where we are going, travel day and night for president. Let Adelaide go the other way, we'll all go with Ike. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington. We'll take Ike to Washington.
Now is the time for all good Americans to come to the aid of their country.
Wow, that is hot stuff, kids. Ike for president. Well, that's somewhat political. I think we can use that as a segue to our awesome guest today, which he's a who, not a witch. And he is Lalo Alcaraz. Come on. One of the finest humorists and cartoonists on the map, if that's where it is. And I would like to say that in Spanish, but I don't know the word for El Mapo. So how are you today, buddy?
I'm good.
All right. You're going to spruce things up around here. And I got some questions which I wrote down here. Hold the cow for a second. What did you do with my questions, Ron? All right. Here, why don't I just give them to you? All right. I'm going to ask, were you influenced by anybody with the humor and for the humor, or by other comic strips?
Well, I have
who are your heroes?
A slew of influences growing up on the border. I read a lot of Mexican comics, and also you know, in Latin America, yeah, I can hear myself all over echoing.
It's a sibilant thing. They come back. Yeah, it's like
in Latin America, comics are very, very popular because of lower literacy rates. So there's a big tradition of comics, pulp comics, that still today. And so I grew up reading, you know, action comics with luchadores in them, the Mexican wrestlers and different superheroes and stuff. And watching the you know, Mexican luchador movies, while I was growing up on the American side, there was a comic strip that I used to read, aside from reading Mad Magazine as much as I could, a Mexican. There was a comic strip, the first strip by a Latino in the United States, first nationally syndicated strip. It was called Gordo, by Gus Arriola. And,
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, it ran a long time, from 1948 to 85, I believe, and I used to read it and see that it was the only thing in the comics section that, you know, either wasn't a talking cat, dog, or Caucasian, you know, so... and he had
Caucasian.
And he had plenty of...
Go figure.
Talking animals in his strip, but he really was, I think, the first thing that anybody had ever really seen, aside from maybe the old Disney, you know, animated movies about Latin America, or that one that we were watching in the green room about not crapping in the cornfield.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got that, Ron? We got that ready?
Yeah. Run that clip, Ron. And
I'll get you a DVD of that.
I want that. So. I remember seeing that as being the only thing, you know. He was Gus Arriola was an animator for Disney and Warner Brothers, and really introduced the U.S. to a lot of words that had never been mentioned in the U.S. really in mainstream, like taco, and you know, he introduced Day of the Dead to American audiences. His strips on Day of the Dead are just beautiful masterpieces. I mean, the guy can draw. It makes me cry. It makes me feel like I'm drawing with a stump. You know, his art is just incredibly beautiful, and you should all look him up. Gus Arriola. He passed away a few years ago, I got to talk to him one time over the phone. He was a really nice guy, too.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So these are some of my influences, and then when I became I got to college, I would read Doonesbury and Bloom County. Bloom County is an awesome comic strip. I got to sit on a panel at the LA Times Festival of Books with Burke Breathed, the creator of Bloom County. And I admitted openly, I said, I want to tell you that I have openly ripped you off and some of your things. He goes, well, you're the first one to admit it, so good for you. You know, he's quite a character. So his strips and you know, kind of madcap adventures of lots of characters reacting to the day's headlines. I mean, that's kind of like La Cucaracha, my comic strip right now. So.
Well, we had, what's his name on the show? Who was it? Bill Melendez we had down here. Remember him?
Wow.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, man, he was good.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had Bill Melendez.
I am friends with Sergio Aragones, who draws in Mad Magazine.
Oh, wait a minute.
Once I'll tell you a funny story. He, because I see him at Comic-Con every year. He's a god.
Yeah.
And he's an icon at Comic-Con in San Diego, and he, you know, he's the guy that draws in the margins of Mad Magazine, and he does a lot of stuff.
Drawn out drawings.
Sorry.
Drawn out drawings.
Yes, and the guy's a machine. I mean, his output is amazing, and he saw me in the hallway at the convention center at Comic-Con. It's Lalo, you know, his voice. He's like a giant dude, and his voice is even bigger. And he's got like the hairiest chest you'd ever want to like confront, you know. He's a really great guy, and he told me, you know, I had drawn him in my comic strip that week because I knew they would run during Comic-Con, and he said, Lalo, I want to thank you for putting me in your strip, my neighbor brought me a bottle of wine. He said, now you are famous. You're in La Cucaracha.
Wow. That's high praise. That's great.
So recently I did, he draws a lot of comics for Bongo Comics, which is the Simpsons comic books. And I wish I had my example with me, but I sold out. I did a story for Bongo Comics called Bart Speaks Spanish. And so it was really interesting, and I was really nervous about drawing Simpsons characters for, because, I mean, Matt Groening's a great cartoonist, and what it is, it's the Bongo Comics is kind of, it's a great side business for Matt Groening, and the Simpsons, but it's also kind of like the alternative weekly cartoonist employment program. He hires a lot of us that have been pushed out of all the alternative weekly papers and lets us do a comic, story for him. And so in my story, Bart gets greedy and gets kicked out of the house because he won't eat his veggies and wants to eat some sugary snacks, goes to the park, sees a Mexican birthday party, and attacks the piñata at the moment that the stick is coming at a hypersonic speed towards his head, cracks him in the head, and wakes up in the hospital and can only speak Spanish now. So he gets transferred to East Springfield Elementary, and because no one can deal with him at Springfield Elementary, and hilarity ensues.
Wow, that's a cool idea. I would like to also use some of my fluent Spanish on you. El equipo de pescar es en la cocina.
Very nice.
El equipo de pescar. Okay. Oh, by the way, late breaking news. I just got this bulletin in here. This is a news headline. This is actually from the news here. Hispanics live in poverty in part because of fried chicken. Now, I got this. This is a quote from some Republican lawmaker. I'm trying to figure it out. Who's the... according to Senator... there was an audible gasp in the room. Okay, yeah. This is a Republican. I don't have the name of it, but this is like within the last couple of days.
Louis Gohmert, I want to guess, from Texas.
When you look at life expectancy, there are problems in the black race. Sickle cell anemia is something that comes up. Diabetes is something that's just prevalent in the genetic makeup, and you just can't help it. Marble. Oh, it's a guy named Marble. Okay. Quote, although I've got to say I've never had better barbecue and better chicken than I ate ever in my life when you go down south, and I love it. But he went on to mention how Mexicans eat vegetables in Mexico, but they stop eating healthily when they immigrate to the United States. There's so many attributing factors as to why these graphs look the way they do. According to Senator Hudak, Democrat, he said there was an audible gasp in the room, and she didn't pull any punches.
I think that's about enough of that, Glenn. Move on and talk.
I'm gonna let you take that home and absorb that.
Thank you.
Show us some artwork, won't you?
Sure.
Why did I get distracted by that? Let me have some coffee and watch this guy go.
Here's some of my characters in La Cucaracha, which has been running for 11 years. They're all dressed as a cast of Chespirito, which is a Mexican kids show that's very well known. Chavo del Ocho is a character. Mexican humor is such that a Mexican kids show stars an orphan who is homeless and lives in a barrel, and everyone abuses him. That's like Mexican kid comedy. And so here's a. I went to the Benson Library at UT Austin, and they have every artifact. They have maps and artwork, the first printed books from North America, all these great artifacts, and I think they have Cortez's calzones, if you know what that means. And
you sure he doesn't want those back?
No, he doesn't need them anymore. And So they showed me some great artwork, some maps that were drawn in the style of the old codex, the Aztec codexes. And so I've been on a kick lately of kind of like updating little Aztec hipster guys, you know, and drawing them in their new environment. I mean, you can find a guy like this in East LA easy. I mean, it's not
road trip.
Yeah. So and here's my Day of the Dead tribute, Charlie Brown. It's El Día de los Muertos, Charlie Brown.
I wish Bill Melendez were here to see it.
Oh yeah, you know, actually, I got to show this to Charles Schultz's widow, Jeannie Schultz, at a convention at Ohio State that we had, and she told me she reads my comic strip every day, which I didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And speaking of Comic-Con, here's a image of Taco Cart Guy as Mr. Fantastic, and with stretching his arm out and serving a plate of tacos here to the other characters dressed as Captain America. Vero is Eddie's girlfriend. She's dressed as Wonder Woman, and the Cucaracha is dressed, I don't know what the hell that is, but he's dressed as some sort of hero I made up. And it's just, you know.
El Roach guy.
What else? And I showed these on the last time, but you can never see this one enough. The cow fell.
Cow fell.
So why don't I draw something real fast?
Ooh. All right. Sorry, took my breath away with that one.
I brought my sketchbook. I just went digital, so I don't really sketch that much anymore. But let me show you what I have here. Actually, these characters are I'm wrapping up a history book that I've just illustrated on U.S. history with the author Ilan. Well, that's me, so you can see drawing. That's my character in the book, and then Ilan Stavans is an academic author that writes a ton of stuff. They call him Mr. Book Proposal, and he's at Amherst College in Massachusetts. And this is our second book together. It's called Imperfect Union, and it's about U.S. history. We did a book called Latino USA about 10 years ago, and we just did the second edition. But this book's going to be good, and they are asking us to start thinking about doing a world history book on the next. And I said, okay, I may need a joint replacement for that one, because it's a lot of drawing for U.S. history already. So. Let me see. Why don't I draw? How are we going to do this? You got it over there? Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Let's draw the Cucaracha. Let's see if I can draw it from this angle. It actually, I never noticed how until recently that when I draw this, it kind of looks like I'm drawing a dirty picture, like that. You ever see that skit on Saturday Night Live? It's hilarious. The dirty, filthy cartoonist draws. But the Cucaracha is like, he's an anthropomorphic cockroach dude. He's like a militant Chicano street poet and activist, and he's my obnoxious side, which I'll have to show you someday, Glenn.
Oh. Well, if anybody can bring it out of you, I can.
Yes. See last month's episode.
Oh, no. You wouldn't hold that against me.
No, yeah.
No. Wait.
So he represents. He represents one part of my personality, which is, too preachy and too, always ready to tell you how you're wrong. And then Eddie is the other main character, and I've noticed that I've done created a lot of stuff that has like duality in it, and it's a good literary device, even though you don't think I'm a writer, but
I didn't. I did. No, I would. No.
Yeah, and Eddie is kind of like me at 25, but although I was interested in politics, He is not, and he just wants to know when the Dodger game's on and who's bringing the beer, you know. So that's my other side of me.
La cerveza.
Yeah, you know that much, huh?
Well, yeah, I was buying it for the little kids.
And there's Eddie.
Yeah.
So,
beautiful.
Let me draw a quick Obama.
Oh!
Because my neck is hurting doing this thing.
I'm
so
sorry.
let me see.
Sorry.
Maybe,
Want me to hold it up for you?
No, please don't touch me. See, Obama is. I currently teach editorial illustration at Otis College of Design and Art, and so we're doing our segment right now on caricatures, so I asked my students to really get into breaking down the way a person looks, not just cartoony in a cartoony way, which is really easy. Oh yeah, it's good. But so, you really, caricature is really simple. I mean, I don't know how good this is, but holding over Obama.
Guess who ran out of time? Oh, God, that's so wonderful. Lalo, I thank you for being here. I appreciate it, even if you won't let me touch you. And thanks for the Peanut Gallery for showing up. Thanks for everybody on the internet for tolerating everything. This has been really great. Thank you, sir.
La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. Down in sunny old Mexico, where the kids in Spanish pico, when the game of hide and seek go, with the buckwheat flamenco. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. Little cucaracha mia, just as happy as can be, when I'm not around to see her, she's eating my tortilla. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. Better beat it, cucaracha. Mama's surely gonna spot ya. With the broom, she's gonna swat ya. Pretty soon, I'm cucaracha. La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar. La cucaracha, ya no puede cantar. La cucaracha,